Good day, Dr. Mary. Today, Brenda, Christy, and I we will be presenting on Yemen, the country that we chose. So we will be starting off with certain aspects of their culture, a bit on their conflicts and political history, and then soon after that, lastly, we'll be touching on one of the artifacts that we chose to represent for this country. So first up, I will be talking about the conflicts which are very popularly known throughout the world, sadly. So people should know that the war actually started out in 1932 as a territorial dispute between the Wahhabi Sunni state founded by Abdul Aziz bin Saud and the 900-year-old monarchy headed by Zaidi Shah Imam Yahya. And the Saudis seized the Yemeni Red Sea coastal regions of Azir and Jizan and the province of Najran. They were formally ceded to Saudi Arabia in 1934. And in 1962, the last Yemeni king, Imam Muhammad al-Badr, was overthrown and a republic was proclaimed in the north. Yemen sought to recover from the three lost provinces, so a second world war was ensued with Egyptian forces that were backing the republic and the Saudis that deposed the Imam. The conflict ended with Badr's defeat in 1970. So following that, in 1990, a union of the North and the South were made, and the new Yemeni Republic signaled that it would actually take an independent Arab nationalist in the regional politics, thus rejecting the Saudi-backed US-led military campaign to drive the Iraqi forces out of Kuwait. And then in 1994, there was a civil war that was started by the separatists in the south, which were armed by the Saudis, which demanded independence from the republic itself. So, due to all the war and all the fighting going on, definitely the terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS or ISIL have took the opportunity to spread their ideologies and beliefs. So in terms of Al-Qaeda, they expanded its footprint in Yemen after the ousting of Yemeni President Ali Abdullah Saleh in 2011, taking control of territory in southern Yemen. So the Al-Qaeda have launched several attacks on Houthi rebels whom it views as infidels. And in 2015, they took over Mukalla, a provincial capital and the fifth largest city in Yemen. And in April 2016, they were driven out by Yemeni and Emirati troops. So in terms of ISIS or ISIL, they announced the formation of a wilaya or state in Yemen in December 2014. And then in March 2015, they claimed its first attack, which were two suicide bombings in two Sana'a mosques used by Zaidi Shia Muslims, which killed more than 140 people. So due to the war and the conflict and the terrorist attacks throughout, there was definitely a case of diaspora. So UNHCR actually estimates more than 2.4 million Yemenis have fled their homes to avoid the war. And 120,000 have sought asylum in other countries such as Djibouti and Somalia. So the Thai's governorate has a larger number of IDPs, or also known as internally displaced people, in the country, which consists of 23% of the total IDP population, followed by by Hajar, Sana'a, Amran, and Saada. In addition, Saada and Sana'a and Amran have the highest IDP to host community ratios, 33%, 21%, and 20% respectively. So next, I'll be passing this on to Brenda, which will be talking about religious identity.
Okay, so religious identity is the sense of belonging to a religious group. And for Yemen, their main religion is actually Islam, and it is actually divided into three. The first one is Sunni Islam of the Shafi school. It dominates in the south and many regions in the north. The next one is Zaidi Shia school, which is centered in Sada. This is mainly for the mountain people who live in the mountain and also their adjacent highlands. And the next, a much smaller Islamic group near Manaka, is the Ismailis, who are divided into two. The first one is Sulaimani, which is also known as Makarima branch. This is connected with the Najaran, and the second one is Dawoodi, also known as Boharas. This is linked with India. And next is their rituals. They actually follow the 5 pillars of Islam. The 5 pillars of Islam consists of faith, charity, prayers, fasting, and also the privilege to make up. And also, so this is actually, so they include the 5 prayers a day and the daytime fast during the month of Ramadan. And the religious celebration includes 27th Ramadan, the birthday of the Prophet, and 10 Muharram, and so on. And then next, I'll pass this on to Christine.
So from the Yemen culture, we could derive a few of their conversation norms. So one of them is their non-verbal symbolic. And public displays of affection between males and male are actually very common in Yemen, but it does not indicate any special sexual orientation, but in fact it shows how close their relationship is. And a gentle handshake in the first meeting and direct eye contact between each other is also counted as a very polite way of meeting each other. However, one should not initiate a handshake with a woman if they are of the opposite sex, because it can be considered offensive. And affection between a man and a woman in the general public is also considered offensive because they generally do not initiate public displays of affection. Next is the verbal symbolisms. During first meeting humor, where there is a man and a woman from the Yemen culture present, and humor is welcome, but if a foreign man and a woman is present only in the meeting itself, then humor may cause tension. And addressing Yemen people by their first name or their titles like Sheikh, Your Excellency, is also a way of respect. And generally, the Yemen people are very conservative, so they avoid face-to-face confrontations. And however, when there is a confrontation, public confrontations are avoided because it's offensive and insulting. And the last one is we can see their communication is very receiver-oriented, because you must not appear distant as it can be seen as disrespectful. But however, when you're dealing with the opposite sex, distance is considered normal. And extending a handshake to a Yemeni woman is unethical because that woman may reject your handshake, and also they are generally uncomfortable with people of the opposite sex. Next, I'll pass on to Ryan for the masculinity.
Right. So, in the Yemeni culture, masculinity is very common. As you can see, the head of the state, head of the family is always the eldest male who makes the significant decisions in his family and his members. Women play a secondary role in the household, such as raising the children, and in more rural areas, they actually help and work on the family farm. Women traditionally earn most of her social status through bearing children, especially males. The birth of a male child is also one of the most important social events in the Yemeni society. And a woman is subordinate to the authority of a man, which could be her husband, her father, her brother, or her son. And men dominate the workplace, and very few women are educated. Next, I'll be passing it back to Christine, which we're talking about long-term orientation.
Okay, so we also realize that Yemen people are long-term oriented, and which means that they are focused on the future and they don't concentrate on the short-term emotional gratifications. And so they are generally very slow-paced in business, but it will not be interpreted as disrespect. And many times in business, you can hear Yemenis say, Inshallah, which means God willing. And because also of their long-term orientation, there are not many clocks in public areas. So Yemen people usually look for job satisfaction, money, and good working conditions, which are beneficial in the long run, and they do not give short-term gratification. So I'll pass the time back to Brenda.
So the artifact that we have chosen is the bara dance, which is also known as a dagger dance. So each tribe has its own bara, which is characterized by the number of dancers, the way they command their dagger, their steps, and also their music. And it's very interesting because this dance has only male dancers. And this dance is usually performed for special occasions such as welcoming visitors, festive occasions, national holidays, and also when they're in a good mood. And this dance, they are mainly performed in Sana'a, Damar, Hajar, and also 8 provinces. And here we'll show you a little video of how the bara dance is. So as you can see, their right hand is holding the dagger as they dance, and the beat and their steps, they're all very rhythmic. So next is...
Alright. So as you can see here, this is all our work cited. Feel free to pause the video if you would like to check out. So we actually use sources from Al Jazeera, UNHCR, the official UNHCR website, the Canadian websites, and also nationalyemen.com. So these are very news sites based and talk about Yemen. So we hope you like our presentation, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
11